All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. How y'all doing this morning? This morning. It is Friday, y'all. It is Friday. Ooh, Lord, thank God it's Friday. My little girl kept me up all night, man. Daddy, I need some lemonade. Daddy, I need some honey bun. Daddy, I need some. She couldn't even figure out what she wanted. Just wanted to keep me up. That's all it was. I said, you just want to keep daddy up on. Yeah, I want you. I want you. Yeah, you know. And they just so cute and aggravating. And cute. And irritating. And cute. I got Mr. David Haight.
That's it.
His wife don't like to say that, so she called him Haight. I think I might call him Haight a little bit too. But his name is pronounced Haight. We just don't like to use that word up in here. Up in here, we got enough hate. We need some love. Up in here, we trying to unify Dothan, and I want you to help us out this morning as I got Mr. David Haight up in the building running for District 3, and we got a special treat for you that brought me a special treat. Oh my God, I feel so good this morning that we got Miss Mullins here, and me and her are very, very familiar with each other, that I went down there to get my license plate. Yeah, I went down. I'm a law-abiding citizen now. I went and got my license plate. You know, I don't ride with temporary tags anymore. I don't think you know nothing about that, do you, Zay? Yeah. You got tag?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, you know, with us over here, we don't get tags. Miss Mullins will tell you, we love to ride with temporaries. We
You keep buying new cars then.
Yeah. No, we wish. Yeah, but we got David Haight here, and he is a very, very intelligent young man that we have had the pleasure of witnessing in some forums. And in those forums, he has explained to us what all he do out of Tallahassee and how he is a city planner and how he has put businesses together and all that. He wants to share with us his expertise. And y'all know I believe in experts by experience. And this man has a wealth and plethora of experience that he wants to contribute to Dothan, Alabama. So we are going to get to him in a minute. I need you to listen to this right here because it's Friday. You done had a long week. You done been sitting there going through it all week with your job and everybody else. Your children about to get ready for school and you're worried about back to school and all that. Well, listen to this. Good.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, baby.
Mr. Haight, Mr. Haight, Mr. Haight, you hear that part? You hear that buzz? That buzz when he said,
Carry on. One. You. Only. Stay. Step. You can dance. I don't want you can shout. Do.
Hey, that man said God wants you to have a good time. Now listen, y'all. I need y'all to share, like, as we get ready to go into this show today with David Haight up in the building. He's in the lab right here. We finna see what he got cooking. And I want y'all to understand that this is the last day of the week. Y'all ain't gonna see me no more than Monday. And then I'm gonna be in New Mexico. Over there with the something. Yeah, I'm gonna be over there doing something there. Yeah, over there, with all them people. They got all that big money. Trying to see that I bring some of it back to Dothan for you. I ain't trying to get no more money. They might want to lock me up. But anyway, I want you to understand that we are in election season. We got about another, 2 weeks and a half before we have to vote. Those of you in District 3, for the country, you have an opportunity now that you have not had before. Y'all have HOs. You have Bedwell, who is the incumbent, and it's up to you to decide. Has he been doing a good job? Does it fit your liking? Has he done what you have asked him to do? You can choose Mr. Haight, I gotta ask you a question too.
Sure, ask.
David Bedwell, Bradley Bedwell, I'm sorry. David Bedwell, I mix your name and say, okay, that's me, I'm common for that. But anyway, Bradley Bedwell, they come. He said that he asked you to run against it.
He did. He actually asked me to run, and that was in a live commission meeting about 2 months ago. He said competition will make him a better candidate.
Competition will make him a better candidate.
Yeah.
Let me tell you
And I'm
something.
good competition.
You good competition. Let me tell y'all something. Now that is I really kind of admire that. You know what I mean? That they come in with, hey, look, you need to run against me, because competition will make me a better candidate. I like that. That's kind of pretty sure yourself, but it's also challenging yourself in order to make sure that you're doing a good job. So I like that. Okay, we're going to give a point to David Bedwell, Bradley Bedwell, for that. But back to you.
Yeah, let's get back to me.
Tell us a little bit about you and what made you run.
I'm running because I have a challenge given to me, and because I have expertise that the city needs. I have 50 years of experience in working with communities, building them, helping neighborhoods, and I'm a city planner, and I think the city of Dothan could use some good planning expertise. I look at most of the plans that exist and are under consideration, and I think I could do some good in reviewing them and modifying them, especially with the downtown revitalization that is ongoing. And I think I have done a good bit of revitalization work for communities in my last 30 years of experience with the same company that I work with now. So I think of streets as places. And if we allow the engineers to think of streets as just arteries to move traffic, I think we made a mistake, and we don't honor the place that downtown is. So I think we can make some improvements there. I'm an ADA advocate. I work under the half of the handicapped and veterans with handicaps, and there are far more veterans with handicaps now than there ever has been in history. We've saved many of them in war zones and brought them back with things that need some help. I am interested in pedestrians, and I think we could do better to make our communities walk with it. So I see some challenges in the community that
Are right in my wheelhouse.
I got a question though. When you sit up there and say that you see the Dothan can use your expertise, do you see that where Dothan has lacked in those areas that pertains to your expertise or no?
Well, I think if you ask most citizens whether transportation is being handled really well right now, they would all say, well, we got too many orange barrels out there. We got to finish some of what we've started. And I know that one of the pet peeves in the community is the circle. And I have had conversations with engineers that would like to see changes in downtown, there's some discussion about making the circle a truck route rather than having trucks go through the middle of downtown on all three of the major routes. And I think that would be an improvement. It would remove the trucks from downtown. I guess the best thing I can provide is expertise in thinking about streets and roads as places and developing the relationship between moving vehicles and the land uses alongside those roads. I've heard it said that we have a lot of economic development that is occurring right now. And what most people mean when they say that is fast food restaurants on the server. I don't consider that economic development. I consider that economic. But is that a good thing for Dothan? I'm not sure. There's a chicken place that's being built right in front of the chicken place at Cottonwood Corners. And I know there's a lot of need for chicken, but that seemed a little bit out of cause scale.
People in Dothan love chicken, man. What's up? So what do you see as the most pressing issue currently in Dothan, your city of Dothan?
Well, I mentioned street safety, so I think safety is paramount. I know there's been a lot of comment about crime, and I will tell you, I had a disheartening conversation with one of my neighbors just yesterday who told me that a couple that lived 2 doors down from here are in distress right now because their son was pulling out of a gas station recently and got shot in the back of the head. Now, that's unacceptable. I don't know the circumstance. All I know is that the horrific distress those parents are in right now. And the man is a strong Marine, and he's still feeling the pain of that loss. I had a loss of a son to a car crash on I-10 coming up Sunday 4 years ago. And he was visiting friends that he went to high school with in Pensacola at UWF. On the way back to Tallahassee, where he was going to start his PhD in religion at FSU. He had 2 degrees in religion. What a loss it was to the world to have a scholar like him, a teacher, a researcher, somebody whose motivation was just to know more about this field. He was a writer, an artist, and I can't tell you how much of a loss that was. Now, we lived in Tallahassee at the time, and we had moved there from Panama City Beach to just be near our son and for my wife to enjoy his college years. Now, imagine all the things that they did for a year or two, and then to have that loss. When the highway patrol vehicle comes up at your front door and comes in and tells you what has just occurred, that's devastating. And so my wife grew up in Mariana. A lot of her extended family are in Dothan. And so she said, let's move to Dothan. Kind of like what happened with Joseph. They all went to Dothan, right? And so what I would say is it was mandatory for me, for her to come to Dothan. And so that explains why we're somewhat new here. It also tells you why my motivation for highway safety and roadway safety is so intense. And what I will tell you is, I don't need to have people get confused about my motivations. I'm a public servant. I took my direction from the Lord. I pray every morning to ask for direction. I have the Holy Spirit walking with me when I talk to people in my neighborhood. And honestly, I'm guided. I'm led. And so public safety, crime prevention, neighborhood development, and education are my high points in
Public safety, crime prevention, neighborhood development.
I mentioned the other day that I think all commissioners ought to do a police ride-along. Years ago, I was in a group called Leadership Tallahassee, and I suggested every single one of the people in that room that they really should do a police ride-along. And I did one at night with a Tallahassee police officer. And it gives you new awareness of what they do every day. It gives you new respect for them, the difficulty of what they have to do. I went to a house where the officer told me, wait in the car, and I'll motion to you when it's time for you to hypno situation. He went to the front door, went in, and everyone in the whole living room there was crying. And he was there to take the father in that home away from that home because he had abused his daughter. The daughter was crying, "Don't take my dad."
Wow. And she was being rude.
She was being abused. Yeah. And so our police officers do that every day. And, you know, the night shift is even worse because a lot of distress happens during that time. So, you know, I have a 50-year career. I had a lot of experiences. I absorbed them. I realized that we need to be aware of what we're seeing every day and how we're being guided. And so my priorities are all based on my experience. They're based on my feelings for what I know.
I know I asked you this, and that's what brought up when you said about the riding law. And each commissioner should ride a law. When we was talking about the Citizens Review Board.
Yeah.
Did you agree with it or disagree with the Citizens?
Well, I think there's no harm in conversation. And I think every time we have conversation,
We better the conversation, or we better understand what the motivations are. So, I don't know whether the Citizens Review Board or I do know that it's needed.
and I do know that there's conversation that will occur. This benefit.
I like what you said. You don't know if it'll work, but you know that it's needed.
That's correct.
I like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't see the necessity of it, but most police department, well, it's actually supposed to be citizen review boards at each police department in America. We have a consent decree. I never mentioned it before. I was really going to save it to after the election and say, hey, I've been asking you for a citizen review board, but let me show you where it says you're supposed to have one anyway. And to hear you say that is necessary, I'm grateful.
Well, and we talked about cops on patrol, and I suggested at the time that the more embedded police officers are in the neighborhood,
In the community.
every day in the community, meeting the people that they got to help. Yeah, that most police departments have on their cars to serve and protect. Well, we know they're protected.
I found out the other day talking to the chief, it might not be the Citizens Review Board. That's the problem. It might be who's asking for.
Well,
Because I don't think they got a problem with the Citizen Review Board. They made it known they just got a problem with me being on the Citizen Review Board, not realizing that I wouldn't want to be on it because I might have to advocate against the Citizen Review Board as well as the post. I'm a national advocate, and I think sometimes people get confused with a local activist and a national advocate.
Right.
I couldn't sit on that board and possibly have to end up going against it. But when I talk to you about District 3, District 3 is a real it's a makeup like the rest of Dothan. 60-40%.
Yeah.
Right? But in District 3, there's three different things that people have to look at in District 3 that's different. You got the hospital there and all that. You know. With all this that's coming up with this big, beautiful, big, ugly, or whatever we want to call the Bill Trump guy, and what it is concerning us. We're not talking about what it's doing to everybody, it's us in Dothan, Alabama. It is affecting us in the healthcare. It's affecting us in rural hospitals. It's affecting us. We don't have a lot of doctors now. It's affecting. How could you represent the people in District 3 concerning that? Because also in District 3, what a lot of people don't realize, as well as District 2, because you got a lot of elderly people.
Yeah.
That's relying on that help.
Well, I did a session at a conference last year on aging in place, and that's a really difficult thing for planners to deal with, because what it really means is your home has to be your home for a span of years, and so it has to have the ability to have handicap access, no thresholds. It has to have walk-in showers. That's just one example.
I think the medical community in Dothan
is an intense economic engine. At both ends of Main Street, you've got extreme medical facilities. And we need to promote them in my district.
Good.
In my district, we have ACOM. And so, I see a billboard every time I drive down the highway that says one of the foremost educational facilities in the country. I don't know that most people realize what a jewel that is. We have,
But while it's a jewel, we still have a shortage of doctors. And I'm trying to figure out and been really, really contemplating on this, and I wish you could help me out. What do we do to attract more doctors at a time where they're taking away our hospitals and healthcare? You understand what I'm trying to say? It just really is like counterproductive to me.
I taught college planning courses for 30 years. One of the most important things I told my students is planners are optimists. Otherwise, why would you plan for the future? They're optimists, but they have to have a pessimistic viewpoint because they want to ask the question of what can go wrong and plan for and have some options, some priorities. We don't set priorities very, very well. And in this degree, I think we could do a better job of setting priorities about how we spend money. And now
You mean the $6.5 million for No. The $287 million we spending downtown for new opera house and a new civic center that don't need.
Yeah.
And we just want to tear it down when somebody could have a mega church.
Well, there's always debate.
Are you talking about the homeless people that we just bought all the houses for? And I'm just asking a question.
You're preaching. I don't reject
Because I'm trying to figure out where the $6 million. I love my dog. I got a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
I got $3 in a little chihuahua. And so forth. He said, huh?
Are they well behaved?
Well behaved. They are my therapy dog. I don't call them service dogs. I serve them. They don't serve me, but they my therapy dog.
Well, I'm a public servant too, so I have to be well behaved. But wait a minute, let me finish my thought.
I like that.
We have, this is by observation. I'm a planner, a land use planner. We have developed a subdivision on both sides of Main Street, US 84, right there at Southeast, just outside a circle that is empty. It's for medical facilities. I had retina surgery about 2.5 months ago. I went to the eye center, and there were about 10 people that were in the surgery center having the same thing done that I was having done. I saw, this touching my heart, I saw a Bella sitting in the lobby that had a Florida Gator shirt on, and I'm a true and true FSU fan. But I went over and talked to him because they just won the national championship in basketball.
That's right.
They did. And that's commendable. And I went over and shook his hand, and I said, I had my FSU shirt on. And I said, this comes hard for me to congratulate you, but I'm going to ask you, why are you at Dothan, Alabama as eye surgery center with a Florida Gator shirt on? Where are you from? And I thought the obvious answer was going to be someplace in Florida. No, he's from Nepal. And he came here for eye surgery. That tells me this is a medical mecca where there were 10 people in the room having the same surgery I was having, all done within 3 hours. That medical complex on the east side is economic development. And if we fill it up with doctors' offices for my doctors over there, right behind the hospital, if we fill it up with doctors' offices, we'll have the supply of land use that's available for them. And we'll have medical complexes on both ends of Main Street. That means Dothan will attract people just like the fellow from Eufaula, so you have to have his eyes.
Well, Dothan is a regional hub.
Absolutely.
Well, this is what people don't realize. We can't say we're a metro, but Dothan is a regional hub. And when I express and talk to people all over this country and explain to them what Dothan is at, I say, you see that little corner right there in the east? They connect the Georgia, West Georgia, North Florida. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's Dothan.
Yeah.
And they sit up there, oh, okay, okay. Well, how many people there? I said, well, the population is about 110, 120, give or take. I said, but at any given day, we got 200,000 people there.
Sure.
Going through that.
Commuters.
Driving through there.
Well,
commuting through
some
that.
of those are truck drivers, and I think we ought to get that go around instead of through.
There are a lot of opportunities. And as I said, as a planner, I'm optimist, and now the pessimist comes in setting priorities. And we don't ask the citizens enough. We have town halls, and some of the candidates have town halls. They meet with citizens, but they don't listen. I have a friend that I work with, a colleague, and he's
Wait, hold on. You can't just say that and keep talking. They don't listen? How dare you say that our commissioners don't listen to us? We voted them in. Yeah, go ahead.
They listen without absorbing. And
Without hearing.
without hearing. I have a friend, colleague, that I explain all the time that you got to quit talking to listen. So when we do public meetings, I tell him the word listen is made up of the same letters as the word silent. So please be silent long enough to hear the people that are telling you what they want.
And so if we spend money without, does she give me the time?
No, she give me the quote. She loved that quote.
I got some, well, like that quote. What I would say is, I'm full of quotes, but that's because I'm full of 50 years of experience.
50 years of experience.
And 30 years in a classroom teaching my subject and absorbing from my students. I learn from my students because they're so advanced in technology and things they come in with that it's amazing. I spent 9 years on a charter school board absorbing what our students did every day. And our motto was high expectations, high achievement. And my goodness, if we don't have high expectations, we're failing our young seriously. But we also have to praise high achievers. And so we don't get good results. We need to change. And my next colleague sitting here nodding her head is saying the same thing. We can do better with our schools.
Before I get to your last and final words, Jimmy McCray, that's running for mayor of Dothan, said don't forget about the $80,000 the city just approved to pay a woman that was hit by a police car. Police car, well, they put the big ram things in front of the car so they could run over. I'm sorry. God, pray for the preacher. But anyway, amen. And Ruth Nelson said, don't forget, and Ruth Nelson said to tell you, don't forget that she's a Gator fan. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Yeah. They said, oh, there y'all go with that stuff. We're going to get y'all up at Roll Tide. Amen.
Auburn, so I'm an ecumenical.
We're going to pray for you about that all day. But anyway, give us your last and final word. He said, David Haight, that's running for District 3. And before you give us your last and final word, should you win? Should you win? Oh, you will. Would you be accepted to take the other two candidates? And what I ask all the candidates and what I've really been trying to get somebody to run on is a team and not just by themselves. I want to see commissioners with deputy commissioners. A deputy commissioner that's an expert in education, an expert in housing, a deputy commissioner that's expert in rehabilitation or reintegration for people that's coming out of prison, a deputy commissioner that's a speaker for the urban and for the white. You understand? Would you be willing to do that as a service?
My profession focuses on bringing people together. Neighborhoods, communities, the region, and what I will say is we all learn unless we have conversations. So yes, I would be open to the idea of being a team. In fact, one of the candidates just told me, "You're so good." He said, "I'm a delight." That's what he said. And I didn't put no point what to make to that. He said, "If you lose," and I said, "Well, I'm not going to lose." But he said, "If you lose, we got to find a place for you to work in Dothan." And I have a full-time job that I've been with for 30 years, a major engineering company, and I'm not ready to retire. I'm the age, and I have an age enough that I could retire, but I don't. want to because I enjoy what I do. I help communities. I build communities. I uplift people. And there's enough of that to do here. And so what I will tell you is I have a lot of energy and I would focus it on team building. There's no question about that. My opponent actually offered one of the other opponents a job. And I thought that was extraordinary. There's been a little controversy about that, but what I would say is I want to be a part of this community, an active, ongoing part of the community. And
On one behalf, I would say, yeah, there was some controversy about that, but in our Unified Dothan campaign that we started some months ago right here at WKCG, we look at that as an opportunity. And we want people to unify and work together, regardless. Because, you know, what a lot of people have to realize is August 6th is coming. You know, and whoever is going to be commissioned and mayor and all that is going to be, whoever going to be on the school board and all is going to be. And we're going to have to still live with each other.
sure.
Cohabitate with each other after that, and we need to unify with each
So
other.
I go to a great church. And when we moved here, we needed a great church. And when we were building our house, we were picking the colors at Saliva's office. And we went with the decorator, came out, the receptionist in that office said, "Did we get everything settled for you?" And I said, "There's only one thing that we have to settle." And she said, "What's that?" And I said, "We need a good Baptist church." And she jumped up and waved her arms and look, I got one. She introduced us to Ridgecrest Baptist Church. And honestly, we watched on TV for a little while and we tried to make our mind up. And then the first week that we sat down on Sunday, the music ended and we looked at each other. And at the same time, we said, we're home.
Ridgecrest is phenomenal. Ridgecrest, Harvest, there we have some phenomenal churches here. I mean, we're in the South, man. That's what we do. We praise the Lord. You in the gospel, the People's Gospel Station right now. This is what we do. You know, as much controversy as you hear about me, this is a gospel station.
Well, this
And I preach all over the world.
It says God first here, and I talk to God first.
You know, I think people forget I'm a preacher sometimes. But anyway, God bless you, man. That's everything. God bless you, man. Good for you to come in, and we thank you. We're going to shift right now. I got to make a phone call. In the meantime, between time, I know Ashley Renee is finna have a fit. Who is he calling? What is he doing over there? But we're going to call this guy here. Yeah. Y'all just bear with me 1 minute. Let us get this call.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Doing fine, Pastor. How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm all right. And welcome to WKCG. This is Dr. Kenneth, Sharpton, Glasgow. It is raw. And we wanted to call you in between our guests that we had today because we want to get an update on that lawsuit with Helena Bay in the AKA Latanya Dorsey, and we know that she can't talk about it being the client or whatever, but you can talk. So could you give us an update on where that's at, what's going on with it, where is it going, what do we need to do? Because a lot of people realize now that the lawsuit, even though it's in her name, that's a lawsuit for all of us and not just her.
You're exactly right, Pastor. And what we're doing is as you know, the wheel of justice moves kind of slow, but we filed a lawsuit probably over a year ago, or right at a year ago, and we're going through the process of this, what they call dispositive motions, where the other side's trying to get it dismissed. Well, we won one round, but we're in federal court, and they're waiting on we're waiting on the timelines as the federal court spins out. And once we get all those timelines, then the wheels are really going to roll fast. So we expect just those faster within the next week or 10 days, and then things are, we will really have some views then. But yeah, I think that the crux of the lawsuit, you're right, is something that is going to affect all of Dothan, because it would get, but what we allege is that she was treated unfairly on that summer food program that the federal government put out. There's a lot of money involved, and apparently, we believe somebody from the city of Dothan, let the bids be known when they're supposed to be secret bids. And that's just, that hurts each one of us as taxpayers of the city of Dothan.
Well, what a lot of people didn't realize, and I was trying to save it to after the election, is that this lawsuit right here is really gonna bring back up the consent decree and everything that the consent decree asks for. There's a lot of things that's in that consent decree implemented in it that shows different biasness and let's just say what it is, corruption of the city and people having their hands in the cookie jar, so to speak. And with this lawsuit, is going to bring up, and maybe we can actually get some enforcing of that consent decree with this lawsuit. That's why it's so vital and so important to all of us. I don't think anybody ever knew that until Miss Ray Cloud mentioned it the other day, because I was really stuffing it, Miss McGowan. I wouldn't even tell nobody what I was planning, but she kind of bust me out. But I appreciate everything that you're doing. What is anything, or is there anything that we could do as the community to help?
Just your thoughts and prayers, I think, would be enough. But I especially for Miss Bay, who has run that great restaurant Mama T's for so long, and she's brave enough to step up there, put her name out there, and against all kinds of odds, she decided to file that lawsuit, and we're with the big boys in federal court, and I think she's got an excellent chance of moving this thing forward.
Amen, amen. Well, you got the judge's approval. I've read something on it where the judge seen relevance for the lawsuit, so you got the approval to move ahead. That as a lawyer, I know that's a good sign. Am I correct?
That's exactly right. Because they filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit that it wasn't it kind of frivolous, but the judge thought differently. Now we still got a lot of steps to go, as you know, the legal system, Pastor. It's gonna take us a while to cipher through it, but this allows us to depose a lot of the people involved in it, and they'll be under oath. They'll have to raise their hand and have a Bible nearby, and they we'll find out pretty soon who's telling the truth, who's not.
I love that. You said they'll have a Bible nearby. But let me say this to you. I know you love to stay anonymous. I know you do. But I need your permission right now, because I need to tell them who you are and what you mean to me. Can I do that, sir?
Oh, yeah, we've been long-time friends, sure.
Let me go a little further. The reason we have WKCG for 8 years now in the community radio station is because this man gave us the money to get the equipment, to get it started, and coached me through what to do in order to get the community license. So he's not only a good friend, he's a supporter. He's somebody that put his money where his mouth is. And because of you, we're 8 years strong now. I'm able to do my show. The gospel is able to be heard for 7.5 years straight. And we just want to thank you so much, Mr. Steve McGowan. If you need a good lawyer, well, guess what? And well, you was already famous. Your name gonna go in all kind of famous novels and documentaries and everything else now with this lawsuit. God bless you, Mr. McGowan.
I hope it turns out for Miss Bay, that she's a wonderful person, and she's fighting for the taxpayers and the citizens of Dothan. And while I got you on the phone, to my Latino and Hispanic clients, I'd like to remind them this is a scary time right there for them, and I know they listen to your show as well, and they have rights. Even if they're undocumented, they have rights in the Constitution. Your 4th, 5th, and 5th, and 14th Amendment all supposed to protect them. And when the ICE comes around, just make you no afraid that you got to feed you, and you ain't got to get them any paperwork. But I'm particularly worried about them right now, Pat.
All right. Let's make a prayer for all those. And if we go by what the Bible say for those foreigners and those that are strangers, we are supposed to take them in, as well as the ones that, when it says, you didn't feed me, you didn't clothe me. And it says, God, when do we do this? When you done it unto the least of them. And just know, I'm going to add my 2 cents in it. Y'all know I will. They come get them, they might try to come get us next. You might better be careful. So do exactly what Mr. McGowan is telling you. And I know from experience, keep your mouth closed. Them folks would say you said stuff that you did not even know, that you don't even know how to pronounce. Don't say nothing.
That's right. I couldn't say it any better. That's right. But I appreciate you, your best friend, and all that there been. And if I do anything for you, you just let me know, okay?
All right. God bless you. Steve McGowan. Go down there and see him. Those of you that heard what he said, he's talking about the LaTanya Dorsey, Miss Helena Bay, a.k.a. LaTanya Dorsey's case with the feeding program and all. And he's the lawyer on board. And it is moving this old way. Hey, but that is a case that is going to help all of us. It's going to enforce a lot of things that Glennie Wiggins, Benny Griffin, the late Rochester Johnson. Oh my God, the Reverend Jones been in all put in place a long time ago. And what we do, once we be able to show this pattern, we'll be able to get some enforcement from the federal government that should have been going along all the time. But without any further ado, we're going to go to this young lady. I met this young lady down there. Now, I don't know about y'all. But I went down there to go get me a tag. I ain't sending nobody. I usually send somebody. But for some reason, I had to go myself. I want to go get my own. In my personal little dually truck. It's an old 1993. I thought it was 95. It turned out to be a 93 truck. I thought, anyway, so I got my truck. Y'all see it, my classic, right? Got it from Red. Red, let me get it. Oh, Cat Eyes over there. And while I was down there, I met this lady. The guards there was kind of, they so solemn and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, you make you kind of scared to even come in there. You be like, if they did arrest me or something going in. I thought this was a public building. And I have a habit, of being on the phone. And I guess they just don't like people on the phone. I'm not going to say it was me, of course. Maybe they just don't like people on the phone. You got to get off the phone. Like, oh my God. Who's pissed in your coffee this morning? But anyway, I got off the phone. I put everything in the little tray. And I made the mistake of thinking that it was the tray, like the trays at the courthouse. The trays at the courthouse, you put everything in the tray. The tray moves through the screen, and you pick it up and get the stuff out. Well, I went to pick this tray up, and it didn't move. The tray don't move. I said, oh, my God, what did I do? So I carefully, very, very carefully, it got my stuff out the tray, and I eased to the door. God sent an angel to the door. And she said, "Hey, how you doing?" And I looked, I said, oh my God, some real people that ain't mad, that ain't angry this morning, that are glad to be here. How can I help you? And I said, I don't know, I got this, I got that. Well, where's your insurance? I don't know. I turned it in last time. Well, where's your bill of sale? I don't know. I turned it in last time. She said, well, let me look that up. She said, okay. Miss Glasgow? I said, oh, she know my name. Well, guess what? She just looked it up. Anyway, when she looked everything up, and she was so pleasant. And then I was sitting there on the phone, and they called my number. And when they called my number, y'all know I didn't hear, right? And she came over there, Miss Glasgow, they're calling your number. And kept the most beautiful smile and pleasantry and the spirit. and walked me over there like a child. I got everything done. I ended up getting my stuff, and a song came on. I can feel it coming in the air. And I looked over there, I said, come on, dance with me. She said, no, don't do it. She said, that's where we stop. I said, what's wrong? She said, I can't dance. I said, you can dance. Come, she, no, don't make me dance. I can't do it. I said, no, you can dance. Everybody, I'm gonna embarrass you, and I'm gonna embarrass me. I'm not gonna do it. And that's how I met this young lady, not knowing that she was running for school board, and not knowing that she would even be on the show today, until Ashley Renee told me, and I pulled up a picture to do a study background. I try to study people before they come. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm running around the house to tell my wife looking at me like, how you know her again?
Yeah.
I said, what you mean? You're a little bit too excited, ain't you?
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, she just helped me. So I am glad to introduce y'all to Miss Julie Mullins Turner, and I thank God for her spirit. Thank God that she is down there with us, because Miss Turner, I don't know if you know, but you shook your head like you did. It's a heck of an experience getting in that building now, man. I mean, you know, they need to get some happier officers or something, man. They act like they mad. They act like what they mad about her?
I don't know.
Yeah, but I know I'm not the only one that told you that.
No.
Yeah, because they very intimidating, man.
Yeah.
And they put them in front of on election day in front of the poll, the election the machine. Ain't nobody gonna vote. Everybody gonna turn around and say, nope, can't do it. Like you did with dancing. Nope, can't do it.
Nope, can't do it.
All right, Miss Julie Mullins Turner, tell us about yourself.
Well, I am running for school board chair.
School board chair. Oh, so you're running for the chairman.
The chairman.
So you're gonna take children's place.
I am.
Now, children's we finna get deep.
Let's get it.
Up that.
Now, let me tell you.
Okay, come on.
Childers and I have been friends for 30 years.
Children's is a guy. Let me tell you what I think about children. At first, I thought children was the best thing since fried ice cream. Did anybody catch the fried ice cream? But anyway, and then I said, wait a minute. She looked at that like he ain't want the black superintendent. Hold on. He threw the pen and slung his chair. And I was like, ooh, I got to question that, because that ain't the guy I just met at the pastor circle. What is really going on? So I didn't know. So I investigated. But I loved Children's when I first met it, because the move he made was so smooth. He slid you in there, slid up out there, slid the number 4, and 4:30. I called Miss Wendy Sharp. I said, Miss Wendy, did anybody qualify for 4? She said, they here right now, Glasgow. I can't talk. You know Miss Wendy Sharp. I can't talk, Glasgow. They here right now. And I said, well, who? I can't tell you till they qualify. And so she got the phone. And I didn't know it was y'all. And I think that was other than most. Listen, you and Children's pulled off one of the most strategic, smoothest political moves I've seen since the Daily Machine. That was smooth.
Well,
now, let's talk about it.
All right. Well, let me tell you, it wasn't that he was against the black superintendent.
Okay.
We like him. He was actually one of our top hits.
Everybody says that.
But it was the way it was done.
Oh, Woosah.
Yes.
Woosah.
It was the way we did
Yes,
it.
that one.
Yes. It was the way it was done.
Okay.
Okay. In case you hadn't noticed, we have a divided board.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. We do.
You mean Unified Dothan has a divided school board that's over our children?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yes.
Okay, come on with it.
That's not cool.
Okay.
Because we can have an awesome school system. Right now, we do not have an awesome school system. let me tell you, when I was teaching at Dothan, the old Dothan High,
No.
when I first applied for my job, there were like 75 people that applied for my job.
See, you about to tell you ain't gonna do it.
No, I'm not going to do it
Don't
because
do it.
there are two things that women lie about in development. That's their weight and her age.
Okay.
And the
great.
Lord will forgive you.
And the Lord will forgive you for those two sins.
Those two sins.
Okay.
The Lord will forgive you. Our weight and our age. And so now we're actually begging people to take teaching jobs. That's not the way it should be. This is the place you want it to be.
You mentioned
We cannot even keep our good teachers here.
someone earlier, not knowing that that's my little sister. And I had a conversation with her. Matter of fact, me and Rochester was together yesterday all day. And that's my big little brother, I call him. But Celeste told me that, you know, she teaches my children and she talks to my wife all the time. Close brother. And she told me we have a real problem with teachers. And I just couldn't believe that. You know, and that's one thing that the community is not aware of. That we got a shortage of doctors and a shortage of teachers. Our most essential things that we need in this city. And so, why is that?
Okay. In Dothan. Well, first of all, there's a national shortage of teachers.
Right. So it's not just Dothan, it's nationally.
Right.
Okay, let's clear that up.
Okay. And we're not immune to that. But right now in Dothan, there's such a toxic culture because teachers fear retaliation.
Is it because of race? Is it because of culture? Let's in our unified Dothan master plan. One of the biggest things that we have looked at, and we got this from a young white teacher that works at Jeremy Fay. I won't mention the name. We're gonna have her in here.
Yeah.
But she told us that young white teachers that teach young black kids over there need more funding. And what her problem was, they give more funding to Highland than they do to Jeremy Fay. And that they could stop the shooting when they get 14, 15 years old if they have more funding to address them while they're in elementary school.
She's absolutely correct.
You agree with that?
I'm telling you, she's absolutely correct.
Okay. So, wow. So, well, I'm going to get emotional. So her thing is, she don't think that it's race. She don't think that it's culture in the schools and with the teachers. She think that it's more up top.
It is. Let me tell you, when I left to go over to the State Department, and let me tell you, I'm uniquely qualified because I worked at the State Department. I know school Sunday. That's one thing I know. I know it backward, I know it forward. I work with every school system in this state. I know school times. When I left WC schools, we had 12,000 kids in the school system. And at the State Department, we had at the second office, we had 21 units. Now, we have 60. And we had roughly 8,000 dads. Don't you think that's disproportionate? 12,000 with 21 employees, 8,000, 61 employees. Don't you mean that's disproportionate? We need to give more funding to the schools that need it. We have to.
But isn't that because of white flight and all that? You got to look at when they merged the schools. A lot of white people took their kids out of the schools and started the private schools, the Christian academic schools, and all that. So, is that not the reason that this is happening?
We definitely experienced white and black when they merged schools. That was, you can absolutely see that's when we said white black. However, that does not mean that we do not have talent across the city. We have intelligent kids across the city that we must meet the needs of those talented kids. We have smart children across this city. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what gender you are. We have intelligent students across the city, and we must meet their needs. That's just we must do it. And so we have to get the funding to these kids, to the schools that need them the most. And if that is a school in District 1 or District 2, we have to do that. The problem is we have to sit down and we have to honestly, with our community, look who needs the funding. Where is it needed the most?
So why would we be even considering taking $13 million to give it, to form this other school, we'll say, with other people that used to work with the school board whose place you're actually taking? Why would we even be considering that? I mean, make it make sense to me.
I can't make that make sense. I cannot make stupidity make sense.
I don't get it.
I don't either. And that's why you need to elect it. That's exactly why you need to elect. Now, let me tell you, let me give you an example. Girls, they are generally underrepresented in STEM occupations, right?
Right.
So my daughter is a accomplished gift. But at Dothan High School, she had a teacher who told her that girls weren't supposed to be so. So
Really?
when she got her PhD,
Please don't tell my wife that. I hope my wife's not listening.
Yeah.
Because you know she's for that women right.
Hey, Miss Glasgow.
Girl, please don't get her started on that.
she's gonna love what she did. So when she got her PhD, she sent a copy of her dissertation to that teacher.
Oh, no. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
And now she actively works, and she lives in Athens, Georgia, where Dr. Askew came from. And
Wow.
And she has a lot of good things to say because she's checking out schools. Because I have a new grandson, so she's been checking out the school.
Right.
And she's very impressed with Dr. Plaza like that. And so yeah, and so she's like, I don't want you to have him.
Wow.
She wants him for
Talking
Max.
about Dr. Askew.
Yeah, she wants him for Max. She's like, can you stay just a few more years for Max?
Wow.
And so Max, I'm under son.
Right.
And so she's kind of mad with us for getting mad. I mean, for
getting Askew, yeah.
because she wants him for Max. But anyway, so she she works with girls to make sure they get a chance with STEM in the schools there.
So let me ask you this. What can you bring to the school board that we haven't had? You said that you're friends with Children's. Children's was the chairman. You're running for chair now. Children would have their vote for number 4. What are you bringing, or what can you bring to the school board that is going to be different or better?
Okay. I know. Well, I'm just going to tell you. I have forgotten more about school than he ever knew about school, and he said it himself. That's comment from him.
Yeah, that's coming to you too.
That came from him.
That's true.
And I have written a lot of the data programs. I wrote them that are still used in the school today.
I was just finna ask you that about unique priorities and programs. That was my next question. Go ahead.
And I have written a lot of the data programs. I wrote them that are still used in the school today.
I was just finna ask you that about unique priorities and programs. That was my next question. Go ahead.
And I understand the state report part and the federal report part. I understand that they look at them because I helped write them. When I got to the State Department, I was placed under Miss Shanford Washington, and I learned more from her than I did any of my degree programs.
Wow.
I learned more from her than any of my degree programs. I love that woman to this day because she taught me so much. She took me under her wing, and she taught me so much. And she said the only thing she couldn't teach me was how to have a poker face. And my face always has stuck calls. And
I think that's what get me in trouble.
oh, listen, it does. And I'll sit in the board meetings and I can be very quiet, but sometimes I'll do this. Are you kidding me?
And you and children's gonna have a problem with y'all expression.
Yes, because I sit there and I'm like, what are you doing? You can't do that. That's illegal. The other thing that I'm afraid of, when we're doing those contracts and they're not what's best for kids, I don't even think we need to consider. Everything we do has to be best, not just for kids, but all our babies. Every one of them.
With that being said, I got a question for you.
Okay.
How do you feel about that policy about a child having a pending charge, felony charge, cannot participate in no school function, cannot walk, go to prom or anything because they have that pending charge? How do you feel about that policy?
Well, it depends on if it's a violent charge or not.
Well, violent or not, the child is still not convicted yet. The only consideration I think that they should have is if it's with another child at the school. Now, if it's with another child at the school, I can see the relator, right? The relation. Okay, I can get it. But if it's not and it's outside of any child in that school or school system, I don't see that charge being viable. I'm gonna tell you why. Because it seems like the school board would be overriding the judicial system. Because the judicial system says you're innocent to proven guilty.
Yeah.
But right now, the school board, we're going to punish you even in your innocence. So we had a young lady, prime example,
Okay.
that graduated in December, virtual school,
Okay.
3.5 average,
Yes.
very well. She got caught up with my child in a shooting that a young man ran out the house and was shooting at them. She in the car, never got out the car. She in the car protecting the little baby, never got out the car. My son jumps out shooting the air, takes off him and the guy, whatever. They can't find my son. They charge her to try to make her tell them where my son at. This young lady couldn't go to her prom. We had a prom right here for her and other children, about 6 other children, that couldn't go because of that policy. But this young lady should have never even been charged. They dropped it. Because my son was like, she never got out of the car. How could y'all charge her? Went to the investigator. The investigator, thank God for him. He dropped it. But she missed her prom because of that policy. And that just don't make sense to me. Now, Dr. Corbett tried his best to fight.
Yeah.
Brendan Guilford, Franklin Jones tried their best to fight, but Cole would not let up.
Well, now let me tell you, in cases like that, I think we need to look, because that should have never happened.
Now,
That should have never happened.
and now, when like a week later, the only reason they didn't drop the case before that is because the court date was set after the prom.
See,
And that don't make sense to me when you got a child that got a 3.5 average and graduated in December, but the charge didn't come up to February. This child already graduated.
yeah.
You can't hold her by a policy when she already finished.
Well, let me tell you, Dr. McCarty hired me, J.L. McCarty.
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
Don't do that now.
Dr. McCarty, go
He
ahead.
was very good to me.
That's my old principal. But go ahead.
He was very good to me. And he always told me,
You about to tell your age for real, but go ahead.
I'm 29.
I got you. I
I'm
understand.
29.
I understand.
And so
Little proud.
he always told me, make your rules, but remember you're dealing with humans.
That's right.
And don't paint yourself in a corner.
That's right.
And so when you make your rules, remember that sometimes you have to adjust your rules when you are dealing with humans. So in that case, that is something we'd have to look at.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, definitely,
Now,
because
had she gotten out of that car with that gun,
that's it.
that would have been different.
That's it. That's it. This young lady didn't even have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And it should have never been charged.
So, because we make policies But sometimes you have to look at those policies and say, is this what's best for this child?
And that's why we have a court system.
Right.
That's why we need a citizen review board. Let me ask you this. Do you agree with a citizen review board for the school board?
Yes, because
Whoa. Yes.
yes,
That's money for child?
yes.
Because you're what?
Because I've been running on, I'm going to get the school system back to the citizens. Because that too, it belongs to. And that has been the problem. Our Lord has been sitting up there and saying, we're going to do what we're going to do, and you're going to be happy with it, and you're not going to ask the same questions. No, that is not how a public school system runs. We are accountable to the pupper. We're accountable. It's your children. It's your tax dollars. We're going to be accountable. We're going to be transparent. And yes, we do need a citizen to be equal. Yes, you do need to know where your tax dollars are going. You do need to know what's happening with your children. So yes, I would be 100% open to that, because there are no more excuses anymore. We need to be answering to the public. So yes, sir.
How do you feel, Miss Julie Mullins Turner, about the new superintendent making history as the first black superintendent? How do you feel about that when you hear us and everybody else that is black? Our first black superintendent. How do you feel about that? I mean, honestly, tell me, because I'm really, really on this unified Dothan thing.
Right.
And one of the things my mother made me conscious of last week, was she had spoken about the definition of black and white, y'all. She said, you got to consider things in the age gaps and this and that. Because on my mother's birth certificate, it don't say black or white. It says color.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she showed me that, and I'm like, man, you just told me. When you get to it says color. She was born right here, and caps all about, and it says color. Ma, you got to be kidding me. And it actually says color. And she said, you need to ask a question if you about how do white people feel about the way you talk this and that and other? Because even though you're bringing out things that other people just don't want to say, won't talk about this and that and other, find out from the other side. So how do you feel when you hear us say that?
Can I think about that for a minute? Because I haven't really thought about it.
Nobody does. And that's why a lot of people don't realize, and it's no fault of yours or mine or anybody else, that's some of the things that I try to bring up on this show to make people think, because we're not thinking. A person that's embedded with racism, a person that's embedded with biasness, a person that's embedded with prejudice, don't even think about it. They don't realize when you take this water, and I said, let me get water, and you had, oh, here you go, Miss Julie, but then you look, and that's just not a white person, that's a black person too, because we see each other differently without even thinking about it.
Right.
And it's human nature. So,
well, let me tell you, when he was interviewed, because I went to all the interviews.
I need you talking to me.
When he was interviewed, because I went and watched all the interviews, I actually was texting Scott Childers, and I said, I want to, and this was just what I was thinking. I said, I want to know if his doctorate had a specialty in school improvement, because he knows school improvement. My next thing was, he knows school finance. I said, they all see what this is, see. And I said, I'm going to be honest. He did. And I said, he knows school. This man knows school.
knows.
I said, so we would be.
He knows it.
I said, this would be my second choice. And the reason it was my second choice is because I talked with Donnie Chambers.
Mm-hmm.
I was administrator of Donnie Chambers, so I was familiar with. And with that survey, and Mr. Haight, he was saying we don't listen to the vote.
Right.
So the survey that Ford didn't sell said they wanted somebody local. So that's what they said. So that would have been the first choice, just being local. But Dr. Askew knew his business.
I've
And he
heard,
knew his business. So if you go,
yeah.
I wasn't even looked at. I mean, you say it. So that I wasn't even thinking, why? So when you say that, I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing that he's going to make history. I think it's great. I mean, don't you think it's great?
That's very good.
I think it's
That's very
amazing
good.
that he's going to make history.
But
not
everybody
only
don't
that-
think like you. Go ahead.
No, everybody. I mean, I told you. It shocked you when I told you that my dad was a
Yeah.
fan of yours,
Right.
and he baked you a pound cake. But let me tell you,
Where's my pound cake at?
it's out there.
Okay.
Let me tell you, you're
Yes.
gonna love that pound cake. Not me, can bake.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, her dad baked me a cake. He listens to us every morning, and he baked me a cake. He's one of our fans at Dr. Kenneth Sharpton, Glasgow. It is raw. You know why he like it? Because we keep it raw.
that's right. And he was so excited. He said, "You going home, Glasgow?" I said, "I am." And he was so excited. He
Amen.
really wanted to come with me. I said, "No, Dad, can't come with me."
Oh, you could have brought him. I would love it.
Well, I didn't know.
Me and him would sit up here and discuss some stuff that don't nobody want to talk about. See, I love to talk to people like that. You know why? Because he going to keep it raw.
Yeah.
He ain't going to spare no feelings. He going to tell it like it is. And that's probably why he like me.
Yeah.
Because I done got numb to the fact now.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what to say about my conservative cousin over here. She shocks me sometimes, but anyway.
But so when you say that, I think it's something to be celebrated. Don't you? I think it's something to be absolutely celebrated. And when I'm board chair, not if, when I'm going to work with Dr. Ask. In fact, I think he likes to talk about school more than I do. I bore people talking about school.
Mm.
And I think I would enjoy working with him.
Every candidate faces off. You get a chance in them. Every candidate.
Yeah.
What do you feel like is your biggest challenge in this campaign?
Well, I'm not come from older. My parents were just workers. My parents were just a bread man that got me for bread, and now my dad is a first aide and my mom was a secretary, and I don't come from older. And I'm running against the guy whose dad was the mayor, and I do not come from Old. I was the first person in my family graduated from college. So because I don't come from Old Dothan, that is going to be a big problem for me.
What's your dad's name?
Joe Mullins.
Mr. Joe Mullins. Your daughter has just made my year. This is the first time I've ever had a white person admit that they do not come from the the old Dothan. I'm sorry.
I don't.
And I ain't sorry. But anyway, and I thank God for there being a minute to that, because that's what we're trying to do. Unify Dothan.
Yes.
Talk to me. I don't know why y'all calling trying to disturb the you see how they do that?
So that is my biggest obstacle, is that I don't. But now let me tell you something. I'm so proud of my mom and daddy. They hard workers. And they told their daughter, all growing up, you can do anything you want to do. And by George, I believed them. And so I was the first one to graduate from college in my whole family. And and they still to this day say, "Go get them, baby," and my daddy still calls me baby. And I still.
What do you say about your opponent? His dad used to be the mayor. You know, Ashley, have you reached out to him to try to get him in? He won't even answer. You know, I have a problem with people that's running for office for the city of Dothan and feel like it don't benefit them, or there's no return of investment for them to come and speak to us in certain areas. I have a problem with that.
Well, we are serving all of them.
Well, it makes me question, are they serving all the dope? When they feel like it don't benefit them to come talk to certain people in dope.
Well, we gotta talk to everybody.
Well, 80 to 90% of the public schools are black children,
Yes.
but you don't want to come talk to black folks? Something is wrong with that. You understand what I'm saying? So, Mr. Opponent, we just gonna say, you need to come here and talk to us. We giving you the ample and opportunity and the equal time as we give him this Mullins Turner for you to come and express yourself and talk to us on why we should vote for you as chairman. Because guess what? We got voting rights now. But anyway, go ahead, Mr. Turner. I'm just saying. I mean, you know, sometimes people don't understand. You got to make it plain. Mr. Childress. And we're going to ask Mr. Childress to come talk to us. How you feel about this discrepancy? This is my last question.
Okay.
And then I want you to give what you want to give because I know you might have to go. Because we need you down there to help us out to have a friendly face because, oh, y'all closed there.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all closed there. But anyway, how do you feel about this discrepancy going on with this lawyer issue and all that? What is it? Explain that to us. Tell us what that's about.
Okay.
Because two things I want to get straight. One is I thought that the lawyer that they was having the fuss about, disagreement, whatever it was about, was because the lawyer was black and they got the black superintendent. I was so wrong. Because Borden or whoever they trying to get, Borden, is my saying his name right? He's not black, he's white. But then I got an even bigger problem because I didn't know that my lawyers, Steve Etheridge and Dustin Fowler was actually the school board lawyers. And I'm sitting up there talking mess to my lawyer, and I'm thinking, my wife was like, shut up. I said, what? Them your lawyers. I'm like, hold it. So, you know, them the ones protected the organization and everything. When they came after me, Dustin Fowler and Steve Etheridge, insulated the organization, everything, set my wife in place. And I'm like, hold up. You hold it. Wait a minute. Let's get some correction up in here. I was wrong. One thing about it, I ain't scared to admit when I'm wrong.
Yes.
What is that about? What was that?
Well, what happened was they voted to, I was at that meeting, and they voted for Dr. Asiuko.
Right.
And then
I was there.
immediately, they voted for Dr. Coe's former attorney to represent the board. We already have a board. Why would we pay? We already have a board attorney. Why would they pay to have another board attorney represent them? And 3 of the board members knew nothing about it.
So that's what it was. The other 3 didn't know nothing about it.
And the other 4 just popped it on them. And it was like, wait, we already have attorneys. Why are we going to pay somebody else? And we can't get funding to the school, so why are we spending this money?
Okay, I'm going to have to talk to Brenda Guilford and Franklin Jones about it. I got to get a better understanding
And why?
on what that was and what that was about.
Why are we going to pay this other attorney who used to be Dennis Coe's attorney?
Yeah,
That feels a little icky.
And Dennis Cole, he the one that, I know it's time, he the one that he accused Childress of being a bully and everything else. And, the guy built, though. I wish I had his body like that. I wish I was built like Childress. Childress, I'm gonna get built like you too, huh? I ain't going to gym with you, but I'm gonna get built like it. But I didn't understand that. I was kind of lost.
Yeah, and
I was lost in the sauce on that one.
yes,
And I'm usually pretty keen on things.
yeah.
I was kind of lost on that one.
Well, that was just a big shock to everybody. I was like, wait, no, we don't need to be double.
So that's where the expressions come at.
That's like
Okay.
you having. Well, I have attorneys to do like, well, once my grandson was born, I had to like tell my daughter, if you don't matter anymore, so I'll go into Max.
Yeah. My mom tried that. It didn't work, but go ahead.
And so it's going to the grandson. You don't matter. It's going to the grandson. I may not have 2 pennies to rub together by the time we get there because it's spending and
I'm still going to him.
but it's still going to him.
Yeah.
But that's like me having an attorney and saying, well, I'm going to hire another attorney to do the same job.
Well, Childress broke it down on Facebook pretty detailed yesterday. And so you know, I was like, wow. What?
And for him to get on Facebook,
Yeah. Oh, he's not a Facebook guy.
he doesn't love Facebook. He doesn't love it at all. So for him to get on Facebook, that's pretty big. That's a pretty big deal.
Well, I'm gonna talk to him. I go ahead and tell him he need to come on here and let me and him have a conversation. We'll talk about it and argue, fuss and fight. I like a good fight and argument every now and then. That's one of the other things I haven't seen this election, man. I done seen y'all have forum after forum after. Ain't no debates going on. You know, and me and Ashley was gonna do a debate. And time we said it, a week later we see what is that? Wiregrass Daily News. Oh, we having a debate. And I told y'all, man, this is the city of copycats. And you know, Tammy Clayton calling carbon copies. I call them copycats. She said they carbon copies. But anyway, we need some debates on stuff like that because I do believe that if you was to have a good debate with your guy. Anyway, go ahead. I'm just rambling back.
I have a wonderful idea.
Okay, what's your idea? We can go get him and have a debate right here if he come.
Let's do it.
Okay.
But a wonderful thing.
Okay.
It's just ask. Yes, no question.
Yes, no question.
And record it.
And that's
Would you be willing to support
yeah.
this? Are you willing to support
Yeah.
and hold up? Yes, no,
Yeah.
and then hold them to it. Hold us to
And
it.
why do you want to get $13 million to the charter school so you give close to more money? I mean, I'm just asking the question.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want
No,
to.
but that's what I want to ask him.
But see, and
Why would he want to do that?
another
Don't make no
misnomer
sense.
that people are walking around saying, and people need to know this, with this Choice Act that's coming up, people think that if you put your kid in a private school, that you're going to get $7,000 here. You can go.
That's what they think. That's exactly what they think.
That is not the case. They're going to get a tax credit.
Of $7,000.
Yes, but you got to remember now when you do your taxes, a tax credit doesn't always equal $7,000.
Listen to me. Let me tell you, Ashley, I'm so glad you bring this up.
So let's
People, listen, I need y'all to hear, share, call people and everything else. I need you to explain that again because on this side of the tracks over here, on day we see the $7,000 we going to get. We need to try to get our kids out of public school over there, and it ain't happening.
No, it is that bill. It's written to serve underprivileged, at-risk students, and it looks like you're going to get $7,000. You're not, and then it says, "Oh, but we're going to give you a $7,000 tax credit." But you know, and I know that when you get a $7,000 tax credit, by the time you start adding it up, you don't really get $7,000 off your tax credit. So what happens is it goes back down the list. Oh, you didn't take it. Person A didn't take it. So we're going to go down to person B, to person C.
And each
so
time
what
it
happens-
drops in value.
Well, and it goes to the person who has more money. So it goes to people whose students are already sitting in the private school.
Anyway.
So what happens? It goes to wealthy people.
Well, the thing about it is that it's called a camouflage bill. And I mean, let me explain to you all what a camouflage bill is. And this is something I made up a long time ago when I was sitting up there dealing with Secretary of State John Merrill, who I became friends with. A camouflage bill is a bill that states is going to at-risk students and those students that have trouble in school. So it appeals to black students because they're the ones that's usually named or labeled at-risk students or students that. So it's an appeal to black students to go to private schools because you got people like me that are advocates saying that the private schools is white flight and only have white students, and there's no black students because all the black students are in the public. So what they do is do a camouflage bill to say, hey, here's the offer for all these black students to go there. Now, we made you the offer. So when you don't come, you can't blame us and holler discrimination. It's a camouflage bill.
Exactly.
You know, and people just don't want to say what it is. And I understand it, but I'll break it down. No problem. So that's all it is it's a scapegoat for us to say we offered it to you black folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we really, y'all stay over there. We good over here. But we all offer that. And it look good, but it ain't good. You ain't going to get that. So you can forget. Your last and final words this morning.
Well, thank you for having me, first of all.
No, thank you.
And-
And thank you, Joe.
Yeah. But I am the most qualified, and I hope that on August 5th that you will get out and you will vote, and you'll vote for me, because I am going to represent all of us, everybody, because our children deserve it, and I promise that we will be transparent, and we're going to represent all of those students, every one of them, and we're going to take care of all of those students, and we're going to turn this around, because let me tell you something, I'm the winner. And we're going to turn it around, and we're going to win for all of those students. Not just the white ones, not just the black ones, not just Indian ones, all of them. Because that's what they deserve.
Amen.
They all deserve it. I mean, just think, if we adore any of them, we could be ignoring a kid that pure cancer. I mean, or the next Picasso, or the next, just think.
Next Obama.
Exactly. So, I mean, we have so many kids that, you set the bar, dear. Kids are going to try to, and I know, I taught. He's setting the bar here.
How long did you teach?
I taught at Dothan for 13 years.
13.
I was a cheerleader coach, and I will tell you something, I will be the biggest cheerleader for Dothan. I will be the biggest cheerleader, because I don't look, I don't lose. We will be excellent. And so, if you set the bar here, kids will strive to get there, and they may only come near. But if you set the bar here, that's where they're going to strive. So you have to set it for and you have to expect excellence from all of them. Everybody. And you do not say, well, they only have one beer at my house. You don't do that. I was a single mom for many years. And you don't set standards for kids based on what their whole life's like. You don't set standards from kids on their skin tone. You don't set standards from kids based on that their parents were not middle class. If that hadn't happened to me, I would have never gone to college.
No. No.
So you don't do that. If we do that to one another, I mean, if you judged me and said, I'm not going to talk to this one and she's white, then I would never have this empathy. So we are going to set the standard for all of our kids to be high. And we're going to make sure that those kids have every equal opportunity to hit it. And we're going to get funding to those students because of bankers. And if we don't, and we're going to be transparent, and we're going to get the schools back to the community because it belongs to the community. All the people.
Citizens Review Board for the school board in Dothan, Alabama. Mrs. Julie Mullins' term. And you mad?
Yes.
Your husband, what the husband?
He works for a 4-star freight runner. And me.
Amen. I got honeydew duties myself.
Yes, and let me tell you,
I work for my wife. But anyway.
Very supportive, and he has supported me in this. He has put up signs everywhere, and he has, he's just the most supportive gentleman that I could ever pray for.
Mr. Joe Mullins, me and my kids are going to call you and thank you for our pound cake. Mr. Turner, we thank you for allowing us the opportunity to interview and spend time with your wife. And we look forward to August 5th and seeing the results. People, we have a good choice right here in all the candidates. And we need to be very, very mindful. I have did my best to bring every candidate before you that will come. And every candidate that has come before you the last week, I'm going to go ahead and tell you because none of the rest of them know. Ashley Renee will be calling all of you candidates that last week, that last 7 days, because I'm going to be going over it with you again. And we might have a couple of debates, especially between 3 and 2 and 1, and possibly the man may not come though. I don't know. He don't see no benefit to come over here. I don't know why. But anyway.
Well, I will definitely come if you do that.
Hey, well, we definitely gonna bring this guy because I want to talk to him about Old Dothan. I want him to explain. Somebody explain me what Old Dothan is. And Old Dothan and the good old buses, that's the same thing?
That's
or
the
they
same
two
thing.
different? Oh, the same thing.
That's the same thing.
Oh, that's what it is. So that's that 1% that runs all the dough and inside the circle. I like her. I like her. She tells the truth, but I see why her and children's friends, they don't like y'all either, do they? Okay, that's all right. I got some new friends.
Yes.
Even though daddy made me a cake. All right, we thank y'all, man. This is Dr. Kenneth Sharpton. Did you want to say something?
Thank you. Yeah, of course I did.
Okay, I'm sorry, man. Go ahead. You